The Trump administration just floated a plan to force every single SNAP recipient, seniors, parents, disabled people, low-income workers, to reapply from scratch to prove they deserve food. Not because there's evidence of mass fraud. No, not because it helps families, but because starving people is now a political tactic. They already cut off full benefits during a government shutdown they created. They already told states to undo approved November benefits. And now the next step, make millions of vulnerable Americans jump through impossible hoops just to keep basic groceries. This isn't about efficiency. This isn't about fraud. This isn't about anything else. This is about punishment. This is about humiliation. This is about reminding poor people that their survival can be taken away at any single moment. And if you think this stops with SNAP recipients, think again. Authoritarians always start with the most vulnerable.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys pulling up today, man. I got to keep saying this. He who feeds you, he who clothes you, he who keeps a roof over your head, they own you and they control that. I think people need to get that through their minds. All these people that are out here supporting these socialistic policies out there, these social, quote unquote, democratic socialist candidates out there, they need to get that through their mind because they're all up in arms, about the SNAP benefits. And they were upset, that the money didn't go out as it was supposed to on November 1st. And now they're upset that the government, President Trump, the administration, they're saying, you know what, we got to get this particular situation under wraps. There's entirely too much fraud going on. There's entirely too much waste happening within the SNAP benefits. We need to look at this in a different way. I don't see the problem with it. And if you don't like it, get off of it, figure out a way, get a job, get with your family, get with your local church, get with the local food banks and figure it out in that way. If you do not like the way that they're going about doing things, it's ridiculous. Hey, you all got to hear this. So I did something I probably shouldn't have done. I Googled myself and man, I found entirely too much personal info out there. My address, old jobs, even relatives just sitting online for anyone to grab. And that sent me down a rabbit hole. And I found out there are actual companies called data brokers that sell your info to marketers, scammers, even stalkers. Disgusting, right? And that's exactly why I use today's sponsor, Aura. Legally, data brokers, they need to remove your information if you ask them, but they make it extremely difficult to do so. But Aura does the hard work for you. They automatically scan those shady broker sites and removes your information. But it doesn't stop there. It also gives you identity theft alerts, fraud protection, and a built-in VPN to keep your data safe wherever you browse. So here's the deal. Hit my link down below or go to aura.com/wise for a 14-day free trial. At the very least, check if your personal information is being sold. Privacy is power in this digital age. Don't give yours away. Try Aura free, 2 weeks, see what's out there, and take control. Now let's get back into the video. I have a few clips to share with you guys. Hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel.
We begin with the return of SNAP benefits after the end of the government shutdown. But the Trump administration says recipients may have to reapply for the program to cut down on fraud. Fox 26's Angie Rodriguez is in studio this evening to share the latest. Angie.
Yeah, good evening, Tom. The Houston Food Bank says they have helped over 25,000 people so far this year, not including an event that they had earlier today. They tell me they're expecting an increase in the amount of people they help as the holidays linger closer and closer. As the holidays creep around the corner, so does a new deadline for SNAP recipients to reapply for their benefits. This comes just after millions receive their first partial payment for food in weeks.
Because we're coming up on a holiday and the kids are out of school, and that partial payment in a month like November does not go very far.
Normally we get 190.
Amber Gray is one of millions of Americans that relies on SNAP to feed her family, which includes several cats and her husband who's on dialysis.
If I can just have bread, milk, and eggs, and flour and sugar, I can make something.
After receiving only $16 for her first partial payment, she sold the family car she used to work Uber Eats and Instacart to have enough money for groceries, which means that for the Gray family, this season could be different.
Because of we were out of everything, I pretty much spent just about all we had. I try to buy enough to last us at least, for 2 or 3 weeks. But now that we don't have a vehicle and we can't go out and make extra money, it's a little bit harder for us.
Something the Houston Food Bank believes could happen to other families as the season continues.
So we anticipate that we will continue to see higher volumes through probably the first week of December.
I've been telling you guys this for quite some time. If you are not giving to the food banks, if you don't have the resources or the money to give, go out there and go and work. There are a lot of people out there that need help, that need assistance. This is an opportunity for good people to stand up, for good people to show up and show out, for the church to show up and show out. This is an opportunity to do so. I've been saying it on this channel for quite some time. We have to take care of our senior citizens. We got to take care of our people that are disabled, but able-bodied individuals. Hey, I got to go get it out the mud like everybody else. I'm just saying. Now, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, and she discussed overhauling the entire SNAP program because there is major fraud that is happening within the program itself. I want you guys to see this.
On day one, when I was sworn in, which was earlier this year in February, the very first thing I did was send letters to every single state in America and said, never before has the federal government asked for the data, but it is a new day. President Trump is the president. We know there's a lot of fraud. We need to help partner with you all to figure out how to make sure that this money and these benefits go to those who truly need it and not rife with fraud and corruption. 29 states, mostly the red states, responded with their data sets February, March, April. So the numbers that you're talking through, those are numbers that we have been collecting and analyzing since early summer, late spring. Okay. The fact that this spotlight shined on SNAP has allowed us to talk about it. But here's the most unbelievable news I have really just over the last few days, that 5,000 dead people, that was just 1 month. The number is closer to 186,000 deceased men and women and children in this country are receiving a check. Now, that is what we're really going to start clamping down on. 500,000 are getting 2. But here's the really stunning thing. This is just data from those 29 mostly red states. Can you imagine when we get our hands on the blue state data, what we're going to find? It's going to give us a platform and a trajectory to fundamentally rebuild this program, have everyone reapply for their benefit, make sure that everyone that's taking a taxpayer-funded benefit through SNAP or food stamps, that they literally are vulnerable and they can't survive without it. And that's the next step here.
Makes complete sense. Makes complete sense. Think about this, man. 186,000 people that are deceased still receiving benefits. That's from the data from 29 states, just a little over half of the nation. Over 500,000 recipients are getting double benefits. That's just from the 29 states, red states mostly, that have already provided data, right? We're almost $38 trillion in debt right now. The president campaigned on cutting the deficit. This is how you would go about doing that. There's a multitude of things that you can do. This is one of them. We need to make sure that we eliminate all the fraud, all the waste, and all the abuse in every aspect of the federal government. The taxpayers are paying entirely too much money to not know where our money is going. This is ridiculous. And the fact that you have people that are upset, about the audits and about having people reapply. And the thing is that it's not that big of a deal to reapply. It's really not. You can do it online. You need, a certain amount of IDs and things of that nature in order to do so. You need a driver's license, social security number, proof of income, proof of rent, mortgage, so forth and so on, utility bills, bank statement, something along those lines. You can apply online and you will get a decision within a week in most states. The max, we're talking a month, but you got people up in arms. Check these videos out.
Dang, bro. So the people who had SNAP benefits, you got to reapply. Which is wild, because what if you had it for like X amount of years, you was good, and then something happened, now you're not going to be good. Who knows what's going to happen, man, but hey, best of luck.
No one should be on SNAP benefits for years. No one.
So now they're trying to make everybody reapply for their food stamps benefits, bitch. Are you kidding me? So y'all know this whole food stamp debacle. First they was not giving it, now they giving it or whatever. Then they said they wasn't giving the percentage. Now they saying they giving all of it. I don't know. It's too much damn back and forth. They playing with too many people's livelihoods, if you ask. But anyway, so now they're trying to say that everybody that receives EBT food stamps benefits have to reapply, as if they don't do that already 3 or to 6 months, every 3 to 6 months. Am I correct? So why do they have to you know what I'm saying, do their application? This is just prolonging the process of people getting their benefits and people getting their food for the holidays. It's like y'all buying time because y'all done spent the money and y'all don't have it. Y'all trying to make up for it. Or y'all just doing it on purpose and being spiteful and mean and evil. They saying it's because it's like over, I think, 100,000, 200,000 deceased people receiving food stamps benefits. Talking about, oh, it's a part of a scam and all this extra stuff. But y'all don't be saying that when the deceased people be getting their Social Security. And the way y'all been cracking down on people and their food stamps and
What? Y'all don't be saying anything when deceased people get their Social Security? Has she not been watching the news? Did she not watch the Doge group discuss it? We all discussed it earlier this year about how many deceased people were still receiving Social Security that they cut off and they need to. I mean, I just don't understand these people. I really don't. I really don't. A lot of these people, hey, they're not up to date on what's going on politically. They have no idea. This is something that affects them. So they're like, you know what? This isn't right. But how do you eliminate the fraud and the abuse if you just allow things to maintain the way it is? If you don't attempt to change anything, and if you just say, hey, we'll only check it to when they, we'll check people when they do their recertification or something along those lines, you may not catch it. But if you kick everybody off and you make everybody reapply right off the rip, because they know that you're checking all the people that are either abusing the system or defrauding the system, they're not going to apply. So you're going to weed out a lot of people just off of that right there in itself. We need to take care of the people that actually need the help. We need to stop with the fraud. And the fact that you have people out here upset about this, it's just baffling to me. Last time I checked, I mean, granted, fact, the country does print money, but the revenue that the country generates doesn't come from a business. It comes from the American people. And here recently it's come from terrorists, but historically it's come from the American people. But I guess it makes sense because more times than not, the people that are receiving SNAP benefits, and some, not all, if they're receiving that WIC, Section 8, these are also the people that aren't paying taxes and paying into the system. So they don't care about the money because they're not paying into the system anyway.
Bull crap about the new SNAP benefits rules. Now, 43 million Americans who receive SNAP benefits are now going to have to refile for SNAP benefits in the near future. And when I say the near future, I mean the very, very near future.
It's literally filing online. Not that difficult to do. You can do it with your cell phone.
Very fast. Maybe before 2026. Now, mind you, this is the end of November of 2025 almost, which means we got 1 month left. This is nothing but another way for the President of the United States to still accomplish his goals, guys.
Yeah, which is to help lower the deficit, get rid of the abuse, get rid of the fraud, get rid of the waste. Yeah, he's absolutely right there. He think he's cooking, but he not.
This is nothing but another way for them to stop SNAP benefits, food stamps, housing, Section 8, the daycare expenses. This is just another slick way of them doing it. They said, well, we can't find a way to just stop the SNAP benefits completely. So let's find a way to filter it all out legally in a slick fashion, guys. The government is so crooked, man. When have you guys ever heard them pulling a stunt like this where all recipients has to reapply for it?
I'm not saying that the government doesn't have some crooked folks within it, but you are the one depending on the government to take care of you. The people that receive these benefits, there's a large amount of them. I think they said 43 million people. Obviously, when it comes to SNAP, There's a large portion of those people that are either illegal immigrants of some sort that shouldn't be here, or people that should be on their way back home. How is it crooked that they want to slow down the benefits that are paid out to able-bodied working individuals in this country? What's crooked about that?
Now, they do have what they call every 3 month or every 6 month recertification. Basically, what happens is you have to go get recertified every 3 to 6 months to see if your financial status has changed, if you're making more money, if you're making less money. But in most cases, it's all about taking the benefits from you and giving you less and less and less every time you go get recertified, guys. This is the case. This is the situation that the government is pulling in a slick way just to still cut people completely off. You know what they always say, man. It's never about the process. It's about the results. We still got 3 years left with this guy in office, and he's going to continue to drain and suck the American people dry. So the American people will be left with nothing, especially if you want one of these government-funded programs, man. The United States is becoming a big-ass joke, man. I'm not even going to say the United States, but the United States government is becoming a big-ass joke. This is all the president's plans to make him and his friends rich while making sure you and your loved ones are broke.
Hey, another weak liberal. I didn't see a wedding ring on the hand, so, obviously not the leader in a household. I'm not going to talk about this man, but we're going to talk about the what he's talking about here. Those of us, who are leading families, who are working on a day-to-day basis, who are earning an honest paycheck, we're not looking to the government to save us from a benefits perspective. We're not looking for that. We're not. Matter of fact, we're the ones that afford the masses of people that do receive these benefits. We're the ones that make it possible for them to do this. Do people like this guy not understand that the government brings in $5 trillion? We spend $7 trillion. We bring in 5, we spend 7. That's a $2 trillion a year deficit. We can't continue to operate like this. We can't. We cannot continue to operate in a $2 trillion annual deficit with no way, no thought in sight of, calling this down. There's no thoughts. But this is supposed to just keep on going. And this dude said that the current administration is trying to keep people broke, busted, and disgusted. I disagree. Especially when you think about the tax breaks that just came out. We just had the largest tax cuts in U.S. history that are basically going to be sustained. So yeah, when you got that going on and they're trying to give the people who work on a day-to-day basis, who own businesses, who take risk, so forth and so on, when they're trying to make sure that those people keep the money that they earn, and the way that you do that is you keep the people that don't actually work from continuing to game the system, I personally don't have a problem with that. Now, again, I am all for helping our senior citizens. I'm all for helping, our disabled folks. I'm actually all for helping the people who have children, especially, receive, snacks and things of that nature. I don't think that any child should go hungry, but I also don't think that the entirety, of the pressure should be put on the federal government to take care of those people. There's a bunch of money that goes to churches on a week-to-week basis. I think the churches got to step up. Seriously. The churches got to step up. The people got to step up. Families got to step up to take care of their own family members. This is one of the few countries in the world that has these types of entitlements for people out there. Everywhere else, for the most part, if you are broke, busted, and disgusted, you got to lean on the church. You got to lean on your own family. I don't see a problem with that. I don't see a problem with it at all.
I feel like these people sit around and try to think about how they can make poor people mad or how they can make poor people's lives worse. Because nothing that these people have ever come up with or put in place make any kind of sense. Now, according to the article that I read, they found 186,000 people who were receiving food stamps that were deceased. Now, that's
just off the data from 29 states. That's not the entire country, but we'll let her keep going.
Only happen if the people were elderly or if they died from some sort of tragic accident and the family doesn't come in and report that they're dead. So instead of fixing the broken system, you make people reapply
And how is that fixing fraud?
Is that not a way to fix fraud? Like I just said earlier, it's going to weed out a bunch of people that are on benefits that shouldn't be on there. Yeah. People aren't just volunteering in the government. What we do know is they're not good at catching the things that she just described. You know, when people die, so forth and so on. They're not good at catching that. That's pretty obvious, especially when you have 186,000 people still receiving benefits, although they are currently deceased. I don't think these people have ever thought about how to actually solve a problem. I don't think they really understand it.
And then they want to talk about saving taxpayers' dollars. You want to save taxpayers' dollars? Then figure out how are people able to steal people's food stamps online before they even had a chance to spend it. And then the system now has to come and reimburse people food stamps that somebody else stole.
I'm sure they're working on that as well. I'm sure they are.
Because this makes no sense. People already have to reapply every 6 months and every year in order to continue getting their benefits. So the only people who kind of get a little leeway is the elderly because they're older. They may not can come in as much as the other people can. So I could understand and see where that 186,000 fraud stuff come in. Then another thing, if they're going to implement this, then they need to pay them case managers more money. Because a lot of them are making just above minimum wage, and they're not getting paid enough to deal with all the drama that doing this is going to come with. Pay them people more money, because this right here is bullshit.
Goodness gracious. Again, I got to go back. There's 186,000 people that were still receiving benefits that are deceased that they know of. That's just based off of 29 states, a little more than half the country. 500,000 people receiving double benefits. Yeah. Hey, every recipient, hey, got to reapply. Simple as that. Got to reapply to verify that you cannot survive without it. All the people caping for the people that work in the office, I don't have a problem with that, man. Most of the time, those folks aren't working that hard anyway. When you go to reapply, you can apply online and you don't even have to go into their office. They'll do the interview via a phone call. As long as you provide certain information, you can do it over the phone. All these people are complaining, not because they got to do it. They're complaining because it's the Trump administration telling them that they got to do it. If this was happening last year, if the Biden-Harris administration said, hey, we got to get this in order, they wouldn't say a word. They wouldn't. They're only upset because the president and the administration currently is saying, we got to get this figured out. And what a better way to figure out who's defrauding, who's not, who really has a need, who doesn't, than say, you know what? Hey, massively, we're going to make everybody reapply and we're going to figure out who needs and who doesn't. And let's see how much money we can save. Makes complete sense to me. It does. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family, or you can buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. Join us Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. Join us at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Late Shift Crew. Go subscribe to the Late Shift Crew channel. It's over there. Hey, I appreciate the love, man. Keep God first, stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
We won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. Real ones rise. Let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies. Let the